Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny and welcome to our weekly nursery tour. We are going to just kind of walk through a bit of the nursery and look at some fun shrubs and perennials and a couple of different products that you might want to consider using in the garden now that fall is very quickly approaching. We get asked a lot about different kinds of both some foundation plantings, deer resistant, 4 seasons of interest, those kinds of things. So a foundation planting is really exactly what it sounds like. It's plants that you are going to put in your garden that are along like the foundation of your house, front of your house, different areas. So one of them that is a great option is this fantastic new barberry from Proven Winners. This is Sunjoy Neo, and we have talked about this before. So the Sunjoy is a series that Proven Winners has. Neo is a fantastic one because of its gorgeous color. For spring, summer, and fall, it has these great red, kind of orange color to it. And we love the barberries because they are going to be more deer resistant. Now, every time I say that a plant is deer resistant, somebody always has to say, well, deer eat this, eat that plant in my garden. Folks, there is no such thing as a completely deer-proof plant. If deer are hungry, they will eat anything. But with that being said, barberries are more deer resistant because they do have little thorns on them, so they have a high deer resistance. Now, people will say, well, I don't want to do a barberry because it does have thorns on it and it pricks me. Well, Sunjoy Neo is great because it's nice and petite. It is only going to be like a 2.5 by 2.5. So you're rarely going to have to ever prune it. It's going to go like in the front of your foundation, the front of your bed, because it is nice and petite. This is going to be hardy in zones 5 through 8. It has done great for us, but it just brings this beautiful color to your garden. It is going to be in the full sun. So you need this in the full sun, so that means at least 5 to 6 hours of beautiful sun. If you want to bring in the pollinators to your garden, you cannot go wrong. Excuse me, speaking of butterflies, we just ran into one. This is the Miss series. So right now you are looking at Miss Molly, and you can see that it attracts butterflies and pollinators of all shapes and sizes and colors. We get all sorts of little tiny little butterflies. Of course, we'll get the monarchs. There's a swallowtail over there on the pugsters. Right now, you're looking at Miss Violet. So the Miss series is going to be like a medium-sized butterfly bush in that 4 to 5, 6 foot range. Again, full hot sun. Butterfly bushes love to have like drought tolerant. They don't like to have wet feet, so you don't have to water these a bunch. If the Miss series is going to be a little bit too big, then the pugsters, which if we can sneak up on this swallowtail over here, pugsters are nice and petite. So there's a bunch of swallowtails over here. I don't know if Jerry can come get them. Right now, there's 2 on this amethyst. And so swallowtails are those beautiful, nice, big, bright yellow butterflies, just great. So pugster is going to be a 2 by 2, even though it is a small butterfly bush. It has the same requirements as the big ones. Interestingly enough, these swallowtail butterflies, if you notice that you have like striped caterpillars on your parsley, your carrots, dill, those are most likely going to be the swallowtail caterpillars. So they go on those plants and eat them before they form their chrysalis. So if you see them on those herb plants, don't squish them. You're going to be getting rid of your butterfly population. And the reason I say this is because we were just in the garden the other day and our parsley is absolutely covered in these fantastic little caterpillars. I will happily sacrifice my parsley so that I can have more butterflies next year or this year. I'm not sure exactly on the life cycle on that. All right, now, here we go. Hydrangeas. Hydrangeas are always a welcomed addition to the garden. Now, this is a fantastic new one. This is Firelight Tidbit. We have grown Firelight in our garden for, I believe this is its second full year now. But Firelight is a fantastic hydrangea, but it can get rather large, very similar to a Limelight. I love Firelights because they will turn that pink mauvey rose color for us. So Firelight Tidbit is a beautiful little petite version of the Big Daddy Firelight. It is only going to be about 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, so very manageable. You can either put it does beautiful on the front of a bed, you could put it in a container. It's great. It is a panicle hydrangea, so it does need the sun. It blooms on new growth. That means you get blooms every single year. It is going to be in zones 3 through 8. So if you have any questions on any of these, you can always go to provenwinners.com and look up, and they will give you all of the information. These are ones that we just started growing this year, so they're a little bit behind, but you can see they've got buds on them and are going to be doing really well. So this is a nice forming bud here, and then it looks like there might be a little bud that will emerge right there. So these hydrangeas, again, hardy to zones 3. So very, very cold hardy, great hydrangea. Love this one. Now, speaking of panicle hydrangeas, new ones, this is Quick Fire Fab. And Quick Fire Fab, you can see on some of these, is turning that beautiful pink color. So this is what it emerges as, right? This beautiful creamy white. This is a brand new bloom. It's still emerging. Nice and creamy. Now, look at this beautiful thing. Look at those little beautiful hints of that gorgeous rose colored, very nice and mauvey. It's gorgeous. So then when Jerry backs up, you can see an older bloom. Both of these are older blooms. So it starts to bring on a little bit of that green tint, but you've still got the pink in there. Perfect fall colors. These make beautiful arrangements, and if you want to dry your hydrangeas, all you simply do is put them in a vase and let the water evaporate and just leave them in there in the vase undisturbed, and that's how they naturally dry. So then they will keep their form, their color, gorgeous. Here is who is this? Oh, Bobo. Look at Bobo. Bobo, can you tell we like panicle hydrangeas? Of course, now we are in the sun, so the panicles love the sun. But here is Bobo. Fun, sweet name, Bobo. And the tags are attached to the plants on this one, so we'll have to let Jerry just kind of get in there on that. So it's just very simple, right? Beautiful, pure white blooms. Fantastic name, right? So much fun. But Bobos are going to be, again, in that, so they're going to be 2.5 to 3 feet tall, but they're going to be a little bit wider. So they're going to be a little bit more of a stout hydrangea with just this beautiful cream bloom on that. Let's see. Beautiful spireas. We've got one that is blooming. I do love a good spirea because it does these fun blooms. Now they will come in different colors. This particular one though is, let me see, Double Play Doozy. She's a doozy, all right. So here's the tag for you sweet folks. Let me move that. Spireas are gonna be, it's awful bright. We're working in the conditions that we have here, people. This is the only time we can film right now, so we're just gonna go for it, right? Make the most of it. So they are sun to part sun, hardy in zones 3 to 8, 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. Again, another great foundation planting, mixing some great evergreens, like this is our beloved Purple Daydream Loropetalum. This is a fantastic evergreen shrub that we use all the time. Now, these are evergreen. They're going to be more petite. They're going to be in that like 3 foot range. Now, where we had Double Play Doozy over here, this is candy corn. So it is still a spirea. You can tell though it's a completely different color, right? And you can probably see why it is called candy corn, because it has that great, almost those 3 different colors, just like a candy corn does. fantastic blooms. Even if it never did bloom, the foliage on this is just gorgeous and beautiful. It is going to be a nice little pink bloom on it. Spireas are just fun because they bring you colors from the blooms and then colors from the foliage. Fantastic. All right, mums. So mums are just starting to show color. Remember, we've talked about this. With mums, there are early bloomers, mid bloomers, late bloomers. How do you know how they bloom? Ones that bloom first are early bloomers. Ones that bloom last are late bloomers. Not to sound like a little smarty pants, but that's really just how you know. So the early bloomers started in late August. The late bloomers will start blooming like late September, early October. It just depends on when you want your mums. So if you have an event, maybe you need something to decorate with, you need something now, come get an early one. You want to wait and have blooms for the Halloween, possibly into November, then wait and come get them in October, or buy some early ones now. Once they are done, come back and buy some more. The only thing that you have to do with your mums is to water them. Mums, contrary to what we think, because we always associate mums with the fall and cool temperatures, well, we planted these right at Father's Day. So mid-end of June. So they have been growing out in the middle of a wide open field on black plastic all summer long. They love the heat. You've got to water them though. If you will constantly, and when I say constantly, I mean once a day, water your mums, then they will last you for weeks and weeks and weeks. The problem is that people will take mums and put them somewhere and never water them. And they're like, they're dead within a week. Well, sweetheart, did you water them? No, you got to water your plants, okay? So when you water them, they will stay nice and happy and very well behaved. All right, let's come up here because I want to talk to you. Fall is a great time to do a little bit of work in your beds. It's one of my favorite times, late fall, because you're starting to clean up, right? Especially if you have beds with annuals or perennials in them, you're going to have to do some work, especially once you get that first frost or that first freeze, because those plants, the foliage on it dies back. So you need to get that old debris out so that you don't harbor pests and viruses or whatever in your yard. We'll talk about it more in detail, but just to start you thinking about this, when you're in those beds and you're cleaning them up, it is the perfect time to go ahead and add some compost, whether you use the Land and Sea or you use the black gold compost. This is what we have is their ultra outdoor planting mix. The reason that I love to go ahead and add my compost or some sort of soil amendments to my beds in the fall is, one, I'm already out there working because I'm cleaning up my summer plants. Two, this is what we call top dressing. So you'll go in and you'll just spread the Land and Sea or the ultra outdoor planting mix on the top of the soil. You're mixing it in and then you'll put fresh pine needles or fresh mulch on top of your beds so it kind of disappears. All winter long, every time it rains, the compost, the nutrients are leaching down into the soil, and your roots on your shrubs and your perennials are taking in all those great nutrients, and then come spring, man, they are happy and healthy and strong, and they come back with a huge amount of vigor. Very, very happy plants. If you have a happy root system, you have a happy plant up top. So go ahead and start thinking to do a little maintenance this fall in those areas that you're going to be working, okay? And if you're creating new beds, then that's really a great time to use, especially in where we are, because we have such heavy clay soil. That's why we love that ultra outdoor planting mix, is because not only is it compost, but it also has the aged pine bark fines in it. It is perfect for landscaping and gardens. You can plant directly in it. It is OMRI listed certified, so that means that it is certified organic. This OMRI, anytime you see OMRI, means that it has been certified as organic. So you can use it for your flowers, your vegetables, your landscapes, trees, shrubs, everything. So this is great. Compost plus the aged pine bark fines really brings some aeration to our clay soil. So this is great if you're creating a new flower bed or a new planting area and you need to break up some of that really tight, compact soil, plus add some food to it. That's why we love that one. All right, let's mosey on up here. Hello. We're gonna come over here. I'm gonna give you a brief update on these tiered planters. Just keep in mind, it's September, and we'll see how they look. So this is the first one that we planted. Remember, basically they're planted very, very similarly. There is a little bit of a difference on the other one, and there's a hummingbird. Oh, sweet little hummer was over there. This one had more of the helichrysum in it. The super bells up top did not really hold on very long. This was just planted so heavily, which is by nature is what it's designed to do. But remember, this is not on irrigation, and we're not down here every day watering it, so they suffered just a little bit. And then over here, this is the one that had the chocolate drop coleus in it. Chocolate drop coleus is one of my favorite plants of this season, I think. It is such a great, clearly a trailing coleus. A lot of times we think of coleus as the big, almost like a shrub, but this coleus is great because it trails and it'll do sun or shade. The super bells have done a little bit better in this one. This was grape punch, I believe, in this one. A little bit of mix, but it is doing well, especially the top part. The coleus has done great. The bottom is just, it's the end of the season. It's about time for it to, you know, that we were talking at lunch with the kids and they were like, why don't you do a fall planting? I was like, well, I don't know. Mama's getting tired. I might just wait till next year. I don't know. Okay, now, this is what drives Jerry crazy. Before we go down to perennials, let me show you the update on these aqua pots. Now, I didn't film this. I just did it one Saturday. You remember we had the coffee cups in here and the Gumfrina and the Pink Star? Yeah, Pink Star? Pink Star. Petunias in here. They did okay. They didn't, the coffee cups did not do as well in the container for me as it has in the ground. So it was doing okay, and I wanted to go ahead and let's switch it out a little bit, plant it for the fall so we can go all the way through. We still had some fireworks grasses, this Golden Dreams coleus. So I took out a couple of those things. I left the sweet potato vine. This is one sweet potato vine that was planted in either late April, I believe it was. This is After Midnight. She is doing great. Now, she got attacked pretty heavily by the Japanese beetles and was pretty holy. Treated her for slugs. She's doing great, so that's in here. There is still some lemon coral sedum that's kind of tucking in and out around on the edges. This lemon coral sedum is just fantastic because it's just such a hardy plant. And then, of course, the Golden Dreams. There are two of those in here, and then there's two of the fireworks grasses. Under normal circumstances, I would not have planted two of each, but because we were going towards the end of the season, I wanted it to bulk up a little bit faster. They're doing great. Both of them are planted the exact same, so you can see the fireworks, Golden Dreams, lemon coral, and After Midnight. So these are doing really well. They will take me all the way through November and a nice hard freeze, and their colors are very fallish, so we're just gonna go with it. Why not? You cannot get any easier than grasses, coleus, and sweet potato vine with lemon coral sedum. Easy peasy. No flowers, but tons of color and interest. Now, where there's no flowers here, there are flowers over there. So let's mosey over here. One last thing I want to show you, kind of before we go, perennials. We've talked about these perennials before. Now, these are the fireworks grasses. They are not perennials, they are annuals. What I'm talking about are the flowering pots in front of me. So this is Cat's Pajamas, which is a Nepeta, a cat mint. Fantastic, easy, low maintenance perennial. loves the sun, nice and low growing, so it forms a beautiful mound. The pollinators go nuts over this thing. It is going to be hardy in zones 3 to 8. It only gets like 12 inches tall, and it does those beautiful little blooms all season long. You can prune it back a little bit to encourage more growth and more flowers, but the honeybees and the bumblebees they just love this plant, and it smells great too. That we had a customer here yesterday, I believe it was, or Friday, talking about how her cat loves just to lay in it, because it is a cat mint, and so they do love it. Next we have the Banana Cream 2. So this is a Shasta daisy. The Amazing Daisies from Proven Winners. Banana Cream, because it's a nice pale yellow when it first comes out, and then it moves to a creamy white. Now, with the Shasta daisies, this is an old bloom, right? So this is an old yucky bloom right here. If you will deadhead your Shasta daisies, it encourages it to keep on blooming throughout the season. So this is a plant that I'm going to say, yeah, you kind of need to deadhead. Meaning once a week, go out, find your old blooms like this, and just trim it down about as low as you can go, as long as there's not another bud on it, and then there you go. So where we have the Banana Cream 2, then over here is the Daisy May. Daisy May is just a plain, beautiful, I say plain, there's nothing plain about her, classic white Shasta daisy. These are fantastic. They're all in that same family, those Daisy Mays. They are going to be hardy in zones 5 to 9. So very versatile, love that. And then of course, so we have daylilies. We have got Ruby Spider. Ruby Spider is one of my, I do love them all, but Ruby Spider is a great one. Really, really vibrant colors. Like the picture does not even do it justice. Extremely bold colors on it. Just a super fantastic plant. Wonderful, wonderful. We still have all sorts of things. If you're looking to attract those hummingbirds at the last minute for the last bit of the season, we've got the Vermillionaire. Of course, there's the whole shade area. We're not going to go into that today. But as always, we have got lots of things for you. I know people have already started asking about pansies. We had a little bit of a cool weather, and people are like, oh, pansies, where are they? Still a little early. I think they're going to be coming in, mid-September, end of September, we will have those, and of course with all the fall, components for those annuals, plus the mums. So if you're local and you need mums, just come see us. There are those gorgeous mums in all the different colors, the whites, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, the pinky purple. We have them all. We'll have them from now, like I said, through October or until we sell out. But I think that's about it. And so it's a Sunday afternoon, so you know what Sunday afternoon means, right? Nap time. So we are going to go back to the house, hang out for a little bit, and rest before we hit the week running yet again. As always, thank you so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.